Why Man United are taking their time over manager decision. Michael Carrick has made an impressive start to his second stint as Manchester United head coach. 3 games, 3 wins, with Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta, and Marco Silva the managers beaten. A place in the top 4, enough to secure a return to the Champions League next season, beckons, barely a month after many feared a second consecutive campaign with no European football. Little wonder there are some observers who already think United should give Carrick the job permanently. Most still caution against, for now. United themselves are staying silent. When they dismissed Ruben Amorim on the 5th of January, club insiders vowed to run a proper process during which they would assess all suitable candidates. Speaking to people with an understanding of the situation, that has not changed. There are some very valid reasons why it might be quite a while before United announce their decision. When United sacked Jose Mourinho in December 2018, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was given the job until the end of the season. It was hoped the club legend's general positivity could raise spirits. The results were spectacular. United won the first 8 games of Solskjaer's tenure, including a Premier League match at Tottenham and an FA Cup tie at Arsenal. The only defeat in his first 17 games was at home to Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League, a result United overturned 3 weeks later as a Marcus Rashford penalty completed a victory that ranks alongside any in the club's illustrious history. 3 weeks later, Solskjaer was given a 3-year contract. By that point, the fatigue many around the Norwegian felt was bound to affect his players, given the extra work demanded of them, had kicked in. United won 2 and lost 8 of their final 12 games. That loss of form fuels the argument United blundered in moving too early and that Solskjaer would not have got the job had they waited until the summer. A different man, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, is running football operations these days, but that historical example alone suggests United are better off waiting. The World Cup conundrum. The other major reason to delay a decision is because a number of potential candidates who are currently in jobs will become available. In the Premier League alone, that includes Oliver Glasner, who has already said he will be leaving Crystal Palace, Bournemouth's Andoni Iraola and Fulham's Silva. Yet Glasner is an example of how short-term results can affect long-term thinking. A Europa League winner at Eintracht Frankfurt, he won Palace the first silverware in their history when they beat Manchester City in last season's FA Cup final. They also won the Community Shield against Liverpool. But things have unravelled this season. Glasner left key players out of Palace's final Conference League game in December. A home draw with Finland's QPS meant Palace missed out on direct entry to the last 16 and must play Bosnian outfit Zrinjski in the playoffs later this month. The QPS game was in the early part of an ongoing run of 12 games without a win. The 8 defeats in that sequence include an embarrassing FA Cup loss at National League North outfit Macclesfield. Palace are 15th in the Premier League, 9 points above third bottom West Ham, and it is not certain Glasner will see out the season. Then there are the international managers. England boss Thomas Tuchel spoke to United before and after the 2024 FA Cup final as the club deliberated about Erik ten Hag's future. United have also long been linked with Mauricio Pochettino, who is in charge of the US national side. That duo, plus Carlo Ancelotti, Brazil, and Julian Nagelsmann, Germany, are other highly regarded coaches likely to be on United's radar. But hiring a national team boss around a major tournament is fraught with issues. In 1990, England boss Bobby Robson was referred to by some as a traitor for agreeing a post-tournament contract with PSV Eindhoven, even though he had been pilloried for the previous 2 years. Julen Lopetegui was sacked by Spain 2 days before the start of the 2018 World Cup after Real Madrid confirmed he would join them after the tournament. Speaking to a source with first-hand knowledge of appointing managers and coaches at club and international level, it became clear signing a contract with the likes of Tuchel before the tournament is not advisable. Even if there are private conversations between senior club representatives and a coach at a major country, there is no way that can become a formal agreement pre-World Cup, they said. If it came out, it would balloon in the face of whichever coach it was. It would be massively destabilizing. It's just not worth it. You can have discreet meetings, they happen all the time in football, but it would be much more beneficial to do groundwork. There are a few issues anyway. If they agreed privately with someone at the end of April, what would happen if Michael Carrick had a fantastic end to the season? Depending on how the World Cup went, good or bad, you must think of the impact it might have on reputation. Manchester United have to let it breathe a little bit. Uncertainty no issue for Carrick. The counter-argument is players want clarity. Defender Harry Maguire is out of contract in the summer, and United have targets to pursue, with midfielders Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton, and Carlos Baleba high on their list. It does not seem unreasonable for those players to ask who their manager would be. The uncertainty did not help Ralf Rangnick, who presided over a 2021-22 campaign that unraveled spectacularly, winning just 5 of the last 19 games, including an FA Cup defeat at home to Championship outfit Middlesbrough. Carrick does not see the same situation unfolding under him. "I've got no concerns," he said. "The lads have been better than you can imagine. We're all aware of the bigger situation and what might happen, but as a player, you focus on what's ahead of you and try to achieve what you can." United clearly want to get the decision right, but as the demands on managers increase, the time they are given to succeed is reduced. Even if Carrick were to leave at the end of the season, his 17 games in charge would not even make the top 8 of shortest reigns at a Premier League club, and would exceed Ange Postecoglou, who only lasted 5 games and 39 days at Nottingham Forest this season. Man United spent £36 million more than they wanted to, but dodged major transfer bullet. Manchester United inadvertently avoided what would likely have been a major transfer mistake in the summer. Manchester United's disappointing 2024-25 season meant wholesale changes were guaranteed when the summer transfer window opened. The priority for United was to reshape their forward line. United scored a measly 44 goals in 38 Premier League games, and those figures contributed to a 15th place finish. Since Ineo's arrival, the priority for United has been to sign players with resale value who could either stay at Old Trafford for most of their career or be sold for a profit. Following this blueprint, the first target of the summer was Ipswich Town's Liam Delap. Delap was always destined to remain in the Premier League, having enjoyed a good season with the Tractor Boys. The Suffolk club may have been relegated back to the Championship at the first time of asking, but Delap's 12 goals in the Premier League showed signs he could make the step up and retain his place in the top flight, even if his team didn't. Manchester United make Kobbie Mainoo decision amid hope for swift resolution. Michael Carrick is doing something in Man United dressing room Ruben Amorim never did. He also had the right profile for the attack Ruben Amorim was looking to build, tall and athletic, with the ability to hold the ball up and an eye for goal. A £30 million release clause saw United try to persuade him to move to Old Trafford, but in the end Chelsea were seen as a more enticing option and United had to go back to the drawing board. Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo joined to strengthen United's attack, but the Reds were still missing a focal point at the top of the pitch. Victor Gyökeres chose Arsenal, so with options running out, United turned to Benjamin Sesko. Younger than both Delap and Gyökeres and without experience of English football, it was a gamble to spend an initial £66 million, which could rise to £72 million, to bring the forward in. Indeed, it may still be a gamble that doesn't pay off, but there have been signs of promise. Both Delap and Gyökeres have proven to be unwise additions for Chelsea and Arsenal respectively. Delap has struggled with just 2 goals in 21 appearances for his new club. Sesko has 6 in 21. While this is by no means golden boot form either, the Slovenian has at least shown more promise than Delap and has a higher ceiling for improvement. His goal on Sunday against Fulham could be a huge turning point. Bouncing back from hitting the post shortly after coming on, Sesko showed brilliant composure to win the game for United in stoppage time. He may have cost them £36 million more than Delap would have done, but in the long term this could be money well spent.